might have mentioned it before on this channel, but I love karaoke. I love the experience of going to karaoke. Karaoke places, for example, here in Japan, in Tokyo, it's quite often the case where you'd go to a karaoke place and they'd have these rooms and you go with your friends and they'd have a TV set up with the data bank, database of songs that are in the computer with mics, and so you punch in the title and then it'll go into the TV and it'll play on the speakers within this room, and you could sing. It'll have the song, but then it'll have the lyrics show up on the TV screen, and so you can sing and you can adjust the tempo and the key if need be, and all that. It's so much fun. Karaoke, I love it. I love it. It's great. And you go with your friends, or as was the case for me, a lot. I would go quite frequently, in fact, with friends or with, say, coworkers. Prior to the onset of the pandemic, I would go quite frequently. For example, in my previous job, I would go with coworkers, and for instance, there would be the annual end-of-year party. And one of the traditions of such annual end-of-year party at my prior job would be going to karaoke and maybe spending an hour or so singing songs, going around, passing the mic along, as it were, going around singing songs. And so that would be a nice tradition. So, but it's also, I would go to karaoke, whether it be with work colleagues or whether it be with friends. I'd go. It's so much fun, so much a place to sing to your heart's content. And there's no judgment. There is no, I have a terrible singing voice. My singing voice is quite terrible to the ears. But it's, again, karaoke, that's the place to have fun and to enjoy. It's a little slice of happiness. And also the selection of songs. Not all selections, not all data banks are the same. Some places might have a certain selection while others might have other selections. But for the most part, if you go to a famous or well-established karaoke place, more often than not, they'll have a really great selection of songs available to sing in karaoke. So there could be, for instance, some selection of Japanese language songs, which I like to sing. There might be a selection of, say, English language songs that I like to sing as well. So if I were to try to think of a movie-related reference, I could say, for instance, in the Japanese language song category, one song that comes to mind would be, do you know the film, it's called in English, Tokyo Drifter. In Japanese, it's Tokyo Nagaremono, a Seijun Suzuki film, starring the great Tetsuya Watari Tetsuya, who also sings the title song to that film, for the film Tokyo Drifter. Now that song is tops. That is tops. And so that's really great indeed. I love that song, and so if they ever were to have that song in karaoke, I would try to select it and sing it. What a great song that is. Tokyo, the theme song to Tokyo Drifter, that is so cool. So that's one. Maybe if I could also, it's Watari Tetsuya has so many great songs to sing as well. There's one that's a particular favorite of mine, which is called, it's kind of a famous ballad. It's called Kuchi Nashi no Hana as well. And it gets also into the area of, it's a genre or subgenre of Japanese music called enka. I love enka music, and to sing enka music, but maybe that's a story for another day. Or for anyone who might be interested in karaoke, please let me know. And if our schedules align, of course, let us see if we can go. But anyway, so that's some examples of Japanese language song. If I were to turn one's attention or turn my attention to English language songs or examples, maybe songs that come to mind are, let's see. Oh yeah, so I love the song You Spin Me Round. Now, if we can speak about movie reference, for instance, I'm fondly reminded of the great Adam Sandler film, The Wedding Singer. You Spin Me Around. That is so much fun to sing. Oh, that's so great. And in fact, my when I was living in Japan, not in Tokyo, but in the northern part of Japan several years back, I had a group of friends and we would go to karaoke quite often. And one of the songs that would be a standard among my friends at the time would be You Spin Me Round, and there would be we have our own little dance that we do whenever the chorus would come. Oh, so much fun, so much fun. You Spin Me Round, that was so great. That is so great to sing. And gosh, what is oh gosh, yes, too. Another thing that we'd love to sing would be Elvis Presley songs, and one that I would bring me so much joy is so many, but for example, Viva Las Vegas. Oh, Viva Las Vegas. Singing Viva Las Vegas in the middle of a karaoke place in Japan, it's like the perfect encapsulation of a little slice of happiness for me. I don't know. I'm not explaining myself well, I think, but that is so cool to sing. Viva Las Vegas. What a great song. And just singing one's heart out, that, Viva Las Vegas. Oh, that's so great. But, and so there's that. Let's see, maybe if I could go to some other examples in the English language song discussion. Also, I'm a huge fan of the Beatles. I love the Beatles, and very often in a karaoke place, they'll have a really great selection in the data bank of Beatles songs. So, for example, singing songs like, I don't know, like "Oh Darling," "Here Comes the Sun," "Across the Universe." I love singing that one. "When I'm 64," that was a personal favorite of my late mother. And so I love that song "When I'm 64," from the album Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And then also, I love the song which is "Don't Let Me Down." I love "Don't Let Me Down." And for those who know "Don't Let Me Down" and the rooftop concert, you will know that there is a moment when John is singing that song during the rooftop concert, the famous rooftop concert, and he messes up a line, but just by accident. He messes up a line, but rather than freeze on stage, he goes along and he just makes up some nonsensical sounding stuff just on the fly, or something like that. It's just that kind of nonsensical stuff that John was a genius for, just making up these things that sounded like other songs that he would, like "I Am the Walrus." He had lots of stuff like that. Well, he had that moment during the rooftop concert. And so whenever I sang or whenever I sing the song "Don't Let Me Down," whenever that lyric or that moment comes up, I won't sing the actual lyric, but I will sing it in the style and the version of the rooftop concert. So I don't think anyone that I've gone to a karaoke with, I don't think anyone's gotten the rooftop concert reference, but that's okay. That's okay, because I have that reference very strongly resonating in my heart as I sing that. That's another great slice of happiness. That's really wonderful. I love singing that song. Yes. Oh gosh, so many examples coming in. Also, these aren't maybe movie references per se, but just having the time of your life singing these songs, and it's an opportunity for me also to become reminded of songs that I would listen to as a kid or become exposed to as a kid. In Japan, maybe the people that I would go with wouldn't necessarily know the songs because they grew up in Japan or something, where I was experiencing these songs growing up overseas, or in the U.S. or in England, or whatever the case may be. So but I bring that to my own, say, my own perspective, and then I sing the songs based on my own, say, childhood. Not all the time, but sometimes. So, for instance, in that category, I could say songs that I love. They wouldn't necessarily be super famous here among my circle of friends when I'd go sing at karaoke, but songs that I'd love would be Delight. Groove is in the Heart. Groove is in the Heart. I love that song. Oh gosh. So I'd sing Groove is in the Heart. Delight's Groove is in the Heart. That would be one. Another one would be B-52's Love Shack. Love Shack. Gosh, gosh, and it would be like, and then oh gosh, the moment in the song in Love Shack when he says, bang, bang, bang on the door, baby. I can't hear you. I just scream that in the mic. I don't even need the mic. I just scream it in the room, and oh, what a fun time that is. Yes, um, bang, bang on the door. Right, that's a great one. And there's a moment where the first moment of when it says the Love Shack is a little place we can get together. If you know the music video, there's a moment where the camera pulls back and you see all the people dancing in the music video. There's always that there's a guy in the middle, and he's kind of dancing like this, with his, like, maybe snapping his fingers or something. So whenever I'd sing that in karaoke, I'd always try to just snap my fingers in honor of this guy that I always remember. That always stuck out in my mind whenever I recall the great music video for Love Shack. Yes. Oh gosh. Oh, oh yes. It's as big as a whale and it's about to set sail. Yes. Oh gosh. Oh, I love that song. Anyway, oh god, I want to go to karaoke now and sing Love Shack. That would be great. Great stuff. Oh my goodness, yes. And I think if I were to go to karaoke now, I think the songs that I'd love to try would be BTS. I'm a big fan of BTS. My family loves BTS and BTS. So those who are BTS fans, it's been a very, very eventful past couple of weeks with regards to BTS and BTS news and release song history and albums. It's been a very, very intense past couple weeks indeed. Well, it's always been great fun, but in particular these past weeks. But anyway, BTS, I'd love to try to sing BTS songs. That would be really wonderful. Incidentally, I don't think they'd have it, but I'm not good with in terms of my ability to speak the Korean language, let alone sing in the Korean language. But if the opportunity presents itself to practice, I'd love to be able, if ever that song were available. Well, there are a couple songs in particular I'd love to try to sing by BTS. One is called Telepathy. Telepathy, that's a great song. Another song that I love by BTS is called Pied Piper. Wow. Oh my goodness, Pied Piper. That could be one of my favorite BTS songs. I love, it's Pied Piper. Anyway, so there's that would be my next say adventure, karaoke adventure, if ever I were to venture on back to the karaoke territory one day. Hopefully that will be soon. Yes, karaoke, all these memories coming back. Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. There's one more, which is, I think, very interesting. I was saying that I went to karaoke here in Japan, and one day I went with just some coworkers. We were we were just maybe after one night or something. We went, and just a small number of us, and we were on good terms. And so we went to karaoke. They were Japanese coworkers. So I think none of them had grown up in the United States. Maybe they had visited the United States or they'd visited abroad, but they hadn't necessarily grown up there. So maybe when we decided to go to karaoke, and so we went to a really great karaoke place where they had an excellent stock of songs, and in particular their stock or selection of songs from 1980s. Like U.S. songs from 1980s was really excellent. It was one of the best selections I'd ever seen in a karaoke place in my life. And so here we were, my colleagues and I, we went to this karaoke place. We were just singing. It was so much fun. It's just so great fun. And then it came to be my turn, and we were already really into it. And there were drinks, and we were having such a great time. And just letting loose and feeling free and fancy and free, as it were, fancy and free. And I was looking, and they had the song. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw it. I was just looking down, scrolling down, whatever, and I came across the English language selection, and it said Sir Mix-a-Lot. Sir Mix-a-Lot, and next to the name Sir Mix-a-Lot, it had the title of the song, which is Baby Got Back. So Sir Mix-a-Lot, Baby Got Back is in this karaoke place selection that I'm in the middle of Tokyo, metropolitan Tokyo, at night, and I'm here with my Japanese colleagues, my coworkers, and we're all having a good time, just enjoying each other's company, enjoying singing, laughing, joking, etc. So I thought, oh gosh, what the heck? When am I ever going to have this opportunity to sing in the middle of nighttime Tokyo with my Japanese colleagues, my coworkers? When am I ever going to have the opportunity to sing Sir Mix-a-Lot, Baby Got Back, ever in my life? Maybe never. And so I said, oh gosh, I'll play this. So I selected Sir Mix-a-Lot, Baby Got Back. And it was such a huge thing when I was a kid, or when I was kind of growing up. It was always there, and I saw the music video with the giant, right, the thing there, and all this stuff, and I said, oh wow, yes, and all this memories were coming back into my mind, and yes, so singing Baby Got Back in a karaoke place in Tokyo one night with my colleagues, that was something that yes, that was something that wow, yes, it's something, yes, that was, wow, what a memory, singing that. Gosh, I can't believe it. Wow, yeah, that's, wow, I don't think I've ever been able to sing that song since, and I don't think no one knew what the song was. They had never heard of it before, and there was a lot of stuff in the lyric. If you know the song, it has quite a heavy dose of double entendre, or maybe not just double, just entendre. There's a lot of it, like it's laid on very, very, very heavy, and so but there's a lot of kind of imagery as well coming in. So I wasn't necessarily sitting down afterwards and explaining the lyric to the people I was with afterwards. I just sang it, and everyone was very polite, and they clapped at the end. I don't think, and so, but no one was necessarily getting the song meaning per se, or no one was necessarily. Maybe people were hearing it for the first time. And I remember my colleague afterwards, after I finished the song and I sat down, I passed the mic to someone else, and they went to another song, or my colleague that I was sitting next to at the time, and he said, oh, that's a really nice song. Maybe I could try to find a CD of it or somewhere. Yeah, and I said to my colleague, yeah, maybe it might be worth checking out. And so that was yes, Sir Mix-a-Lot. Wow.